Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the 17th Annual Martin Luther King Jr. Freedom Breakfast and President's Fulfilling the Dream Awards program. My name is Michelle Cook, and I serve as Vice Provost for Diversity and Inclusion and Strategic University Initiatives here at the University of Georgia. This morning, we honor the life and legacy of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. As we come together, I am encouraged by our theme for this year's breakfast, the power of the dream, freedom and justice for all. Grand ideas and ideals that must serve as critical guideposts directing each of us towards a better future until, as Dr. King stated, and I quote, "Justice rolls down like waters and righteousness like a mighty stream." As we reflect on the life and legacy of Dr. King, we contemplate his profound vision of freedom and justice for all, a vision once articulated as a dream that still resonates today. That is what brings us here this morning, recognizing Dr. King's legacy through the invaluable work of individuals and their contributions to their communities and to human rights. We're here to share in conversation, discussion, make connections that not only inform our community, but also our humanity. So thank you all for coming this morning to celebrate the life and legacy of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., a fellow Georgian who was truly a citizen of the world. Perhaps more importantly, thank you for coming this morning to be challenged to do more, to be more, engage more, stretch more, support more as we build upon his legacy. To begin this morning's breakfast, members of the Ebenezer Baptist Church West Choir, under the direction of Mr. Tony Rucker, will lead us in singing the first stanza of Lift Every Voice and Sing as printed in your program. Please rise and join us in singing.
Good morning, everyone, and join me in thanking the choir of Ebenezer Baptist. I want to welcome everyone here today for the Martin Luther King Jr. Freedom Breakfast. We come here each and every year to celebrate a true giant, one of the world's most influential leaders, a champion of justice and equality, an individual whose life and legacy continues to inspire even today. It is my pleasure to welcome all of you to this celebration of his legacy and to this celebration of this community and this opportunity for all of us to come together today. Like many of you, I am very excited to hear from our keynote speaker, the Honorable Steve Jones, United States District Judge for the Northern District of Georgia. Judge Jones has an overwhelming love of the University of Georgia and is someone that all of us in this room consider a dear friend. He and his wife, Lillian, are invested in our local community. Lillian, who is with us today, is a retired teacher and school administrator who continues to give back to this community through her innovative Young Designers Sewing Club that has been recognized on many occasions. Judge Jones remains an active alumnus, serving today on the UGA Foundation Board of Trustees and the Georgia Athletic Association Board of Directors. Judge, thank you for agreeing to be with us today. We know your busy schedule. We all look forward to your words of wisdom and encouragement. Our entire community is made better by what you and Lillian mean to the Athens community. Thank you. I would be remiss if I did not also thank Dr. Michelle Cook, who leads our campus efforts for diversity, inclusion, and strategic university initiatives. Dr. Cook and her amazing team do so much to make this breakfast a great event every year. Allow me to thank her as well. And finally, I want to extend my thanks and appreciation to the Clarke County School District and the Athens-Clarke County government. We appreciate your ongoing support of this annual event. It is certainly a great example of community partnership between each and every one of our organizations. Thank you to all of you for being here today for this wonderful celebration, and please join me now in welcoming the Mayor of Athens, Kelly Gertz.
Good morning, everyone. It's wonderful to stand before you on such a great occasion. I bring greetings on behalf of the unified government of Athens-Clarke County. I have several colleagues with us today, Commissioner Parker, Commissioner Edwards, our Chief Attorney, Judd Drake, our Inclusion Officer, Crystal Coburn, our Police Chief, Cleveland Spruill, and others. We are always glad to be a partner in this event, particularly on such an important occasion as this, the celebration of what would be the 91st birthday of Dr. King. We're very glad to have Judge Jones back with us today. If you're not aware, he began his judicial career as municipal court judge for the unified government here. This is a sold-out affair, so he may still be able to give you some guidance if you're illegally parked here in the community. This really is just a great time, I think, for all of us to reflect upon the influence and inspiration that King has left the entire globe with in his work around nonviolent direct action. So today, from Hong Kong to Iran to right here in Athens, Georgia, everybody on the planet has an opportunity to celebrate the legacy of King and what it can mean in our lives today. So God bless you and enjoy the program. Mr. Nona Thomas is up next.
Good morning. I am honored to be with you today as the interim superintendent of the amazing Clarke County School District. As a native Athenian, I am also a proud alum of the Clarke County School District, and I am what some consider a Baxter Street baby, where essentially all of my education took place off of Baxter Street, beginning at Alps Road, detouring for 2 years to Timothy, coming back to Clarke Middle, Clarke Central, and ending as a triple dog. So I'm glad to be a Baxter Street baby. It's always exciting to attend the Freedom Breakfast to celebrate the life and the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King and to recognize our students who have shown such amazing greatness in their own individual ways. But before I move on, I would like to just pause and thank our board members. If you all could stand who are here with us this morning. We also have district office staff and several principals who have chosen, due to their commitment to this work, to purchase tickets for their schools and bring several students. So if you're a district office staff or a building leader, will you please stand and be recognized? Thank you so much. Preparing our students for the new and broadening opportunities ahead not only requires us to make sure that they're on the path to success, but we also have an obligation to ensure that our students have the educational, social, emotional, and overall development that they need to be lifelong citizens. We want them to be strong as individuals, but their individual strength also turns into strength for the Athens-Clarke County community. We must work together with the government, with the University of Georgia, with individual citizens to do what is necessary to develop strong graduates and strong citizens out of the Athens area. As a district, we are not only committed to Dr. King's dream of equality for all, but we've expanded that to our core work being equity for all, so that we not only have equal opportunities, but that each individual has access to what they need to be successful. On behalf of the Clarke County School District, I want to thank our students, our staff, and our community partners such as the University of Georgia for everything that you do to support us in our work with our students. The university provides a multitude of partnerships and programs from Experience UGA, where all of our students, grades K-12, have an opportunity to visit campus and experience some aspect, to our professional development school model, to the opportunity for all of our students, grades 2 through 5, to attend the University of Georgia basketball game every year during the holidays. And we thank you for those opportunities that you provide to our students. Every year, our students participate in a district-wide art and writing competition designed to provide education and connection to Dr. Martin Luther King's legacy. Our teachers and students give a great deal of time and effort to these entries, and choosing winners is always a challenge due to the exceptional quality of those entries. As with past years, this year's entries were amazing, and we wish that we could have recognized every student who participated. However, that is not possible. So today, you will see a video of 10 students who were chosen as the best within their age group. This year's video showcases how our winners interpreted the theme, how we can work together to achieve Dr. Martin Luther King's dream. At this time, I would like the winners who are present to please stand and be recognized. Thank you. We're very proud of each of you, and we want to thank Mr. Harold Faison for his work in creating the video that you are about to see. I believe that their inspired messages of hope, along with some sage advice, will resonate with us all. Thank you.
The stories in that video were truly inspiring. Can we give another hand to the students of the Clarke County School District? My name is Alton Standifer, and I have the pleasure of serving as the assistant to the president, but today I have the honor of presenting and introducing the recipients of the 2020 President's Fulfilling the Dream Award. The President's Fulfilling the Dream Award highlights the work of UGA faculty, staff, students, and local community members who have made significant contributions to justice, race relations, and human rights. Our award winners have demonstrated a commitment to the Athens-Clarke County community, the Clarke County School District, and the University of Georgia through their civic engagement by utilizing King's philosophy to resolve conflict and foster goodwill. At this time, I'd like to ask President Moorhead to join me on stage to present the awards to today's honorees. As I highlight each recipient, I ask that each recipient join us on stage to receive your award from President Moorhead. After taking your photos, recipients, please stand near the stage so that we can get a group picture at the end. Our first award is presented to Mr. Marcus Dexter. Marcus serves as a graduate assistant in the Office of Institutional Diversity, as well as the social media manager for the University of Georgia bookstore. He has previously served as a coach at the NCAA Division I and III levels for track and field. As a PhD student, his research focuses on the experiences and identities of Black male athletes that are considered high achieving in both their academic and athletic fields. Marcus works with a number of minority recruitment programs in the Office of Institutional Diversity, including the Georgia African American Male Experience and Movimiento Latino. Marcus, I want to thank you for your scholarship, your service to prospective students, and your commitment to ensuring that student athletes and all of their abilities are highlighted, not only their athletic ones. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in congratulating Mr. Marcus Dexter. Next, we have Mr. Cesar Escalante. Cesar is a professor of agricultural and applied economics in the College of Agricultural and Environmental Sciences. His research focuses on issues of social significance, such as fairness, equality, social justice, and humanity. A well-published author and dedicated mentor, Escalante has won numerous awards and received honors for his many accomplishments as a faculty member and researcher. Dr. Escalante remains very involved in the local community. As an active member of the St. Joseph Catholic Parish, he works to foster unity and harmony among various ethnic groups. Dr. Escalante, thank you for your bravery, being brave enough to not only challenge the theoretical frameworks of equality and justice through your research, but also to put action behind it by the work that you do in this community and specifically at the parish. Ladies and gentlemen, will you join me in congratulating Dr. Cesar Escalante? Caleb Kelly is our next recipient. He is a third-year student majoring in sports management from the College of Education. Caleb is a student that I have had the pleasure of working with on a number of occasions and can truly say he embodies the spirit of not only this community, but the University of Georgia. Most recently, as an orientation leader, he selflessly worked to support over 20,000 students and their families as they transition to the University of Georgia and the Athens-Clarke County community. Along with this, he's been a dog camp leader, a lead fellow, and a member of the Black Male Leadership Society. A proud preacher's kid by way of Arkansas, Caleb, I want to say to you, not only do I appreciate how serious you take your role as a singer anytime you're given the opportunity, but I also appreciate your selflessness, your curiosity most of the time, and most of all, your love for the University of Georgia and specifically the College of Education. Ladies and gentlemen, will you join me in congratulating Mr. Caleb Kelly? Sharante Maxwell serves as the Assistant Director of Access Programs in the Division of Academic Enhancement. Throughout her career, Sharante has been committed to finding ways to support students who are first generation, Pell eligible, underrepresented, or experience life with disabilities. She has worked to secure millions of dollars in grant funding to make this work a reality on our campus. Sharante, there are not enough thank yous to share, but I hope that as you think about this award you received today, it makes you think about the families that you have impacted. Those that through the work that you are doing will change generations of lives because they'll be able to lead lives unlike anyone else in their family. Thanks not only to the significant funding that you have secured to do this work, but also to the intentional coaching and encouragement that I've seen you provide to our students at the University of Georgia. Thank you for inspiring them to be supportive members of our community and to gain graduate, professional, and other terminal degrees here at the University of Georgia. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, will you join me in congratulating Ms. Sharante Maxwell? And then there was Mr. Athens himself. Marvin J. Nunnally is a native Athenian that has devoted much of his life to creating positive experiences and opportunities for the youth in this community. Marvin works as a sales executive at the Classic Center and as an entrepreneur and nonprofit manager. Marvin established the Youth Academy to support local youth in their efforts to build character and life skills. I feel like Marvin would be disappointed if I did not mention that the Youth Academy has received top honors in the Athens Area Black History Bowl. Not only that, they are the product of many Bill Gates Millennium, National Merit, and Zell Miller Scholars. Marvin holds a political science degree from the University of Georgia, as well as his JD from the John Marshall Law School. Brother Nunnally, for your investment in this community, we say thank you. For your energy, we say thank you. For the genuine care and concern you have for every young person you meet, we indeed say thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in congratulating Marvin J. Nunnally. Let's give our honorees another round of applause. My favorite quote from Dr. King says, "Intelligence plus character, that is the goal of true education." And through partnerships like the ones between the University of Georgia, the Clarke County School District, and the Athens-Clarke County Unified Government, those are the opportunities that we're providing, not only for students here at the University of Georgia, but for students across our community. And for that, we are extremely thankful and appreciate our honorees today for their contributions to that important work. At this time, we will turn our attention to the amazing choir from Ebenezer Baptist Church West. Please give them a hand as they come.
Good morning. Bring the mic down a little bit. That was beautiful. Can we give them another round of applause, please? My name is Niall Tucker. I'm a fourth-year biological engineering major here, and I have the honor of introducing our keynote speaker. Judge Steve C. Jones, an Athens native, is a two-time alumnus of the University of Georgia, earning his Bachelor's of Business Administration from Terry College of Business and his Juris Doctorate from the UGA School of Law. Judge Jones was nominated to become a United States District Judge by President Barack Obama on January 5, 2011, and he was sworn in as a district judge on March 4, 2011. In this role, he presides over cases that involve the United States government, the United States Constitution, federal laws, controversies between citizens of different states, and other matters. Prior to his nomination to the district court, Judge Jones served in many capacities. He served as a Superior Court judge in the Athens-Clarke and Oconee counties, as an Athens-Clarke County Municipal Court judge, Assistant District Attorney for the Western Judicial Circuit, and Director of the Athens Child Support Recovery Unit. Furthermore, Judge Jones has offered his time and leadership to numerous academic, community, legal, and social organizations. To name a few, he is a managing trustee for the University of Georgia Foundation, vice president for the Russell Foundation, treasurer of the Old War Horse Lawyers Club, and past president of the University of Georgia Alumni Association. Judge Jones has won many awards for his judicial and community service, including the Chief Justice Thomas O. Marshall Professionalism Award, the Blue Key Service Award, and the Chief Justice Robert Benham Award for Community Service. At this time, please join me in welcoming our MLK Freedom Breakfast keynote speaker, the Honorable Judge Steve C. Jones.
Well, let me say good morning to everyone. Good morning. It is great to be in Athens. You know, my car crosses that Clarke County line and starts driving better. To President Jerry Moorhead, Mayor Kelly Gertz, Dr. Zona Thomas, Dr. Michelle Cook, ladies and gentlemen, it is great to be home in Athens. This is home, and I want to thank you all this morning. Usually about this time on a Friday morning, I'm driving on Peachtree Road with about 1 million other cars. So my stress level's a whole lot lower. Ms. Tucker, thank you for that great introduction. I am greatly honored to have you introduce me this morning. Thank you. It is a tremendous honor to have the opportunity to be a part of this program. So I sat here and I was Dr. Thomas and I was listening to the young people speak. You know, I turned to President Moore and I said, no, he turned to me and says, I'm gonna hire those kids. But you know what, that's inspiring because it shows that the work that Dr. King done was not in vain. when we watch young black kids and white kids, different areas come together and say what they were saying this morning. That's why I want to commend the University of Georgia, the Athens-Clarke County Unified Government, and the Clarke County School District for coming together to put this program together. Because when you look at all the things that are being done, it takes people working together. I'm honored to speak at a program that honors great people that has been honored this morning receiving these awards. Let's give them all a hand one more time. You know, I love sitting next to President Moorhead, but sometimes he just kind of adds a little more to sitting next to him. When the Ebenezer Choir finished singing that last song, he turned to me and says, "You got to follow that." Outstanding. That's my home church, Ebenezer Baptist Church Choir. They're great. Under the direction of Dr. Tony Rucker and our pastor, the Reverend Dr. Darrell Bloodsaw, and our pastor emeritus, the Reverend Dr. Winfred Hope. Thank you all for being here. It's always good to have home people around. You know, in Atlanta, when they start messing with me, I always tell them, don't make me call Athens. My wife, Lillian, had to get up and stretch. I'm always glad to have her here. She's back in the back, stretching. You know, I told some people one time when I was speaking, I said, if you're sitting next to a lady and she's saying the words as I said the words in speech, don't get alarmed. She heard the speech last night. And to my family. And I always want to get a shout out to my fellow judges from Clarke and Oconee County. Hey, I'm still one of you guys. Don't forget that. Today we're here to honor a man that had a tremendous positive effect on America and the world. He led by believing in love, peace, and unity. It's uplifting to look out and see all you all here today. It's uplifting to me because it means that we have made progress. We're moving forward. We haven't reached the promised land, but we made such great progress. You know, Mayor Kurtz, a lot of mornings when I walk into my office in the Russell Courthouse, I stop and I look around the office. And I said to myself, Bo, how can a little country boy from Timothy Road in Athens, Georgia, be in this spot today? It's not because I'm that smart. I got professors that will tell you that. But it's because Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and people like him, people like a lot of you all sitting in this audience today, that made the sacrifice. The work and sacrifice of Dr. King changed the society, helped make today possible. We sometimes, though, take for granted what we have today. We sometimes act like it's always been this way. But I want to tell you, 65 years ago, we could not be sitting here today like we're sitting here today. 65 years ago, I could not be standing up here speaking. 65 short years ago, the unity that I see here today was not possible. But I strongly believe that when there's a great appreciation for the past, then you understand and you appreciate today even more. We cannot and should not ever forget that civil rights, though, came with a cost. It cost Dr. King and many others their lives. But you know the one thing about Dr. King that just really inspires me? Is that even as he was going through the struggle, even as he was doing the things that most of us would have said, I can't take it anymore, even as he was leading us to freedom and justice, he showed us how to live our lives. He showed us how to handle adversity. He showed us that it's not always easy. He was called a troublemaker, a rabberizer, communist. He was called an Uncle Tom. He was spied on by his own government, denounced by elected officials, but he never stopped believing in what he was doing. We cannot and should not forget that the struggle for civil rights and social change did not come fast, and it didn't come easy. The struggle for change came because Dr. King believed that good would overcome evil. It came because he had faith in the redeeming power of love, and he endured constantly being arrested, the loneliness of sitting in a prison cell. It came because he was willing to endanger not only his life, but his home and his family's life, even when his home was bombed. It came even after he was stabbed with scissors. And I asked myself, what makes a person continue to move? Because he believed in the cause that he was working for. Now I'm going to tell you, during any struggle for change of anything, people become impatient. They become weary. And when things do not change fast, Dr. Thomas, doubt increases. And Dr. King had to deal with all this. He had to deal with doubt, frustration, impatience, and sometimes just meanness. But his belief and dedication to the cause of freedom and justice enabled us to be here today, even when he was in a situation where he was approached by those that he was leading and asked him, says, how long? How much longer must we endure dogs being sicked on us? How much longer must we endure having water hoses turned on us? How much longer must we endure it? His belief led him to say, not long, because truth crushed the earth will rise again. When he was asked, how long will it be before we are treated equally? His dedication and belief led him to say, not long, because no lie can live forever. When they asked him, says, how long will it be before we receive justice? His belief in America, he was able to say, not long, because the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends toward justice. With that attitude and belief, Dr. King became the cornerstone of the civil rights movement. He was a part of a foundation that was built to help us. But notice I said built to help us. The foundation has been laid by Dr. King, but we have to build on it. Dr. King did not intend for all the things he worked for to stop when he was killed in Memphis, Tennessee. He did not want us to stop working for equality, helping the poor, creating more diversity when he died, because the work was not completed. He did not believe that equality and help for the poor and diversity were completed with the passage of the 1964 Civil Rights Act or the 1965 Voting Rights Act. He realized, and we realized, that Dr. King left us a strong foundation. But yet, we must understand he left us a foundation to build upon. He did not intend for us to become spectators, but participants. You know, a few years ago, 25 exactly, Lily and I built a house. One of the most fun things I've ever done for in my life. But it took them a long time to get the foundation built. Took them a while to get the foundation established. But once they established the foundation, the work wasn't complete. I couldn't move in. I couldn't turn to Lily and say, let's pack up and move in. There was more work to be done. We needed walls. We needed framing. We needed utilities. I couldn't get from Mayor Kurtz a certificate of occupancy at that time. What I said to you today is that the work is not completed yet. There's still more work to be done. We have the foundation, but the house is not done yet. Now, I realize that we made great strides, but yet there are some people that still want to live on the foundation. Now, I'm not talking about any of you all here. I'm talking about all those people that are not here. There are those that still think they can live on the foundation, but Dr. King wants you to realize that the work is not done yet. Sometimes we fail to take advantage of opportunities to do better because we become satisfied with the way things are today. But in order to build a better world, we need people who want to become involved. Dr. King once said, the ultimate tragedy is not the oppression and cruelty by the bad people, but the silence over that by the good people. Let me say it again. The ultimate tragedy is not the oppression and cruelty by the bad people, but the silence over that by the good people. In order to build a better world, silence cannot be part of the building process. We cannot be silent as long as 3 in 10 American girls become pregnant, and more than 50% of teen mothers never graduate from high school. We cannot be silent as long as 44% of the youth in our juvenile detention facilities in 2015 were African American, despite the fact that African Americans comprised only 16% of all the youth in the United States. We cannot be silent when there are some school-aged children who do not receive a proper meal from the time they leave school on Friday until they return back to school on Monday. We cannot be silent as long as there's any type of discrimination in our country. We cannot be silent when poverty has such a devastating effect on our fellow brothers and sisters. We must work to build a better world on this foundation. Yet, we cannot build a better world if we close our eyes to the problems that we face every day. If you can drive through a community and see the problems in that community, and it doesn't bother you, we can't build a better world. If you can hear the cries of help from your fellow brothers and sisters, and it doesn't bother you, we can't build a better world. We cannot, and we do not have the option to move to the other side of the road like the priest and the Levite when we see someone in need. Because see, when we move to the other side of the road, more prisons are built and filled. When we move to the other side of the road, despair replaces hope. When we move to the other side of the road, division among us grows stronger. When we move to the other side of the road, our school systems are damaged and poverty increases. But I say to you today, as we try to improve, we have to keep in mind that the problems of 1960 are not exactly the problems of 2020. There may not be water fountains labeled colored and white now, but we still can't let philosophies, attitudes, cultures, or whatever segregate us so that we do not develop relationships that help us learn to live together and work together. In order, though, to do this, we can't let people with evil hearts and evil minds separate us. But you all are looking at me and you're saying, well, Steve, how do we do this? And I'm glad you asked. It starts with you as an individual. We must move from our individual concerns and look at how we can fill a need. Now, some people ask, well, how can one person make a difference? In 1961, there was a young lady attending the University of Michigan. She had begun her postgraduate work to pursue a master's degree in music. She was happy there, excelling in school and preparing for a great career, when she observed disturbing images that was happening right here at the University of Georgia. She was concerned about her two friends, Hamilton Holmes and Charlene Hunter. Now, she could have said very easily, that's their problem. I'm happy here. But she didn't say that. She did not ignore what she was seeing. She did not say, let someone else handle it. Not my concern. She saw a need and she responded to it. She saw an opportunity to build a better world. She transfers from the University of Michigan to UGA. She left the comfort of Michigan to face the obstacles at UGA at that time. The sacrifice that she was willing to make, the sacrifice of one individual that she was able to make, not only made Mary Frances Early the first graduate of the University of Georgia, but it made the University of Georgia a better place. The courage that she gave started the building of change at the University of Georgia. But what if she had been selfish? Says, I'm not bothered. I'm fine. We have to look within our hearts and our minds every day and ask ourselves, what am I doing to build a better world? An individual effort and courage and sacrifice and caring for Miss Early made this a better university for more generations. You know, I'm often reminded of a story of 6 little kids, 3 boys and 3 girls. And they had been out playing all day long. And they were tired, hungry. And as they were walking back home, they came upon this apple tree. And they all wanted an apple. But the apples were too high up in the tree to reach. Somebody, Dr. Cook, had to climb up that tree to shake the limbs in order for the others to have apples. There's this one little girl. She climbs up the tree, nervous, afraid. Charlie, she walks out on one of the limbs, limb shaking, nervous, scared. And she gets out on the limb, Pat, and she starts shaking the limbs. And apples start falling all on the ground out from the tree. And kids are running and picking up apples and putting them in their pockets. By the time she comes down out the tree, there are no apples for her. You know, when you're trying to build a better world and you're trying to do it for an individual, sometimes you got to be a tree shaker and let other people be the apple pie makers. Sometimes in life, you got to be like Dr. King and Mary Frances Early. You got to climb up that tree and shake down some justice for other people. Sometimes you got to make that sacrifice knowing there's no pat on the back going to be for you. No glory for you when you get out that tree. Sometimes you got to shake the limbs to get the apple of love to fall down. Sometimes you got to go out on a limb to shake it in order to get apples of justice and righteousness pulled down. But the question today is, are you willing to be like Miss Early? Each one of us have the opportunity to be part of building on Dr. King's foundation. As Miss Early once stated, our young people don't know. They don't understand the price that was paid. But like building a home, building a better world comes with a price. But when it's important to you, you will make the sacrifice. You will climb up that tree and shake that limb. When you look at the life of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and you ask yourself, what allows a person to leave the comfort zone of Michigan and come to the turbulent times of the University of Georgia? What is it? What is inside of a person to make a brilliant young preacher like Dr. King sacrifice his life, endanger his family? What is it in this person? What drives this person? What enables that person to do those things? What is it that enables people who have been beaten with billy clubs, nightsticks, had water hoses turned on them, vicious dogs allowed to attack them, yet, they continue to love those people that are doing that? What is it that enables a person to love those that hate them? What is it that drives a man like Dr. King to move toward nonviolence at all costs. I ask you today, what is it? Well, I'll tell you what it is. It's because they cared. What is it that makes a young mayor in Atlanta, Georgia, by the name of Ivan Allen, to risk his entire political career, to go against his friends and family, to go to Washington, D.C. in 1963 and say, we need civil rights because what I see is not right? What is it that drives those people? It's because they wanted to build a better world. They were willing to endure the pain. They were willing to endure the indignity. They were willing to endure the hate that came at them. As we're sitting here today, because they were willing, we have a better world. A better world for all people, no matter what the color of your skin, black, white, Democrat, Republican, North, South. That's why we cannot let them down. We cannot disappoint them. I will not disappoint them. I will never, ever say what they did was in vain, because the sacrifices they made has made us better. That's why we must start looking at each other as brothers and sisters and not the color of our skin. We must look at what we can accomplish together. That's why we must build a world where loving your neighbor is not just a statement, but a way of life. A world where the quality of your education or the quality of your medical care does not depend on where you live, who you are, or your socioeconomic status. We must build a world where justice comes with mercy. We must build a world where the power of love overcomes the love of power. We must build a world where you're not my enemy because we disagree, but it gives me an opportunity, gives us an opportunity to come together, to live together, to work together, and even die together. We must build a world where our children will live in peace and harmony with each other. We must build a world where the mountains were made low, and the rough places were made straight, and the crooked places made straight. And when we build a world like that, when we build that world, I tell you what Dr. King's dream was. The power of Dr. King's dream will come true. When we build that world, we will be able to sing, we shall overcome. Thank you. Thank you, Dr.
Judge Jones, we just want to thank you on behalf of the Martin Luther King Freedom Breakfast Planning Committee, the University of Georgia, Athens-Clarke County Unified Government, the Athens-Clarke County School District. Thank you for those incredible, inspiring, and challenging words. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Good to have you.
I don't know about you, but I feel like I have my marching orders. Congratulations again, and thank you to this year's Fulfilling the Dream Award winners. We also have several past recipients of the award in attendance today. Would all past recipients please stand and be recognized? This morning's breakfast was made possible by the support of our generous sponsors, whose names are printed in the back of your program. They are AT&T, Athens-Clarke County School District, Athens-Clarke County Unified Government, Georgia Power, Georgia United Credit Union, Kaiser Permanente, Public Education Matters, Georgia, Parent Supporters Clarke County School District, Piedmont Athens Regional, and St. Mary's Healthcare. Please join me in showing our gratitude to these sponsors for their support and generosity. I would also like to thank the many student volunteers who woke up early on a Friday morning to assist and ensure that we all had a very pleasant experience. These students consist of members of the Arch Society, the Black Male Leadership Society, and the Georgia African American Male Experience, or GAME, ambassadors. Thank you to these students. And finally, we would truly be remiss if we did not thank the members of the Freedom Breakfast Planning Committee and the staff of the Office of Institutional Diversity. They are listed in your program. Their commitment to this event and its success is admirable, and without their hard work over the last several months, this event would not be possible, so we thank them. As you enjoy the rest of your day, I encourage you to reflect on the importance and meaning of freedom and justice for all. In doing so, we are wise to remember the words of Dr. King, and I quote, "The time is always right to do the right thing." Dr. King's legacy demonstrates this truth and reminds us to live such a life in our daily interactions, no matter how small or how grand. And we were reminded of this again in the remarks of our keynote speaker today. Our award winners and speaker this morning are bright examples of doing what is right. So let us be inspired by the commitment they share with Dr. King in making our community more equal and inclusive. And let us learn from them and from one another. That is how we continue moving forward and building the future that Dr. King envisioned for us all. Thank you again for being a part of the 2020 Martin Luther King Jr. Freedom Breakfast. Have an incredible day.